Food processors. We love them. We do. I do.
I do too. I agree.
I really like mine. In the test kitchen, we love food processors. They can make a wide range of recipes faster, easier, and more approachable.
These machines are hugely helpful for everything from shredding pounds of cheese and veggies to grinding hamburger, making pesto, mayo, you name it. But there's a lot to know about what to look for when buying one, how to use them, how to care for them, how to clean them, and more.
Hannah and I are going to give you our full guide to food processors, and we'll answer some of your most frequently asked questions so you can get the best results at home.
First up, Lisa with our buying guide.
So to start, how do food processors even work? All the models we tested operate really similarly. The bowl sits on a motorized base, and the blade is in the bowl on a central stem that passes through the bowl to the motor and spins the blade. Safety features keep that blade immobile if this lid isn't fully secured. Now for chopping, there's an S-shaped blade that's positioned in the bowl. You add the food, and then you secure the lid in place. For slicing and shredding, you put on a disc-shaped blade with a little stem, and it either has the raised holes for shredding or an edge for cutting, and you put them right at the top of the stem. You secure the lid in place, and then you're pushing the food down through this feed tube onto that blade to be cut. This has been our longtime winner, and we've used it for years in the test kitchen. We periodically retest it against new competitors. I just recently pitted it against models from Breville, KitchenAid, and Ninja, and it's still won. Here's what to look for in a good food processor. The Cuisinart had all these features. You want a well-designed feed tube. It should be big enough so that you minimize pre-trimming and waste, but narrow enough to hold food upright. So here's an insert where you can put skinnier foods. Different size inserts like this are a plus because they let you get a real custom fit for a variety of foods. Now be aware this model is a little bit unusual. It has the feed tube here in the back, and that's actually a good thing because you get a view into the work bowl as you use it. Another feature it has, in this central tube, there's a little tiny hole, so you can put oil in there and you're making mayonnaise, it will drizzle it in at a nice steady rate. You also want minimal gaps between the blade and the side of the bowl and the blade and the bottom of the bowl. Our lowest performing models had gaps that were twice as big as this model. As the blade starts to turn, food is escaping. You can often find that food is unevenly chopped. You also want a weighty, compact base. Compact so it saves space on your counter, and you want it to be heavy so the machine stays anchored when you're doing heavy mixing. This base is about 12.5 pounds, and that really matters. You don't want the lightweight ones that have the suction cups on them because every time you want to shift it by a few inches, you have to rip the whole thing off the counter and move it a few inches. It's a pain. You also want a very responsive pulse button. This is an underrated feature. A responsive pulse button gives a big burst of power, tosses all the ingredients, and then cuts out. The bad ones run very gently for a long time. Food rides on the blades, so you can end up with pieces that are huge and pieces that are liquefied at the same time. Another thing that's kind of important, when you're looking at most food processors, you get this machine, but then you get a sidecar of accessories, all kinds of extra blades and attachments that seem really enticing. It feels like more is more. Let me tell you why it's really not. You're going to dedicate literally twice the space to the food processor. If you don't, you're never going to use those blades. You're going to put those underneath somewhere, and you'll think of other things to do than use your food processor. Most recipes you can do in a food processor are fully covered by the S-blade for chopping, the slicer, and the shredder. And this model, you can store everything inside this work bowl. It all fits. It's hard to do this backwards. There we go. I bought one of these for myself and I love it. I use it all the time. I keep the base and then I keep the jar with the blades right behind it on a shelf. There's a very low barrier to taking this out, using it, and putting it away. The other thing that is really important is that your food processor be easy to clean. Underneath the top of the bowl is very simple and there's no places where food gets stuck. The bowl itself is very, very plain and simple. There's very few pieces to care for and to clean. You can really come to appreciate a very simple one-piece blade that you just drop in. A lot of the other machines that I found, especially the ones with the giant sidecar of accessories, have 3 or 4 pieces you have to assemble for the blade. First of all, you have to remember what those all are and how they go together. Second, food tends to kind of get stuck in between them. So if in your heart of hearts you want all of those accessories, we also recommend a model by Breville, the Sous Chef 16, which comes with every possible attachment. But honestly, The Cuisinart was still better, and it is half the price. We also recommend this small size food processor. It's a 4-cup model by Cuisinart. It can do small jobs like chopping Parmesan, herbs, making small sauces, doing mayonnaise. This is really a nice one because there is a little hole in the lid where you can drizzle in the oil. Most small food processors don't have a lid where you can drizzle oil in, so you can't make things like mayonnaise. It can't shred, it can't slice. But if you just want to pull out something really quickly and make something small, this is a wonderful size, and this is a really good model. Another question we get is, how does this food processor stack up to a blender? Do you need both? A food processor is terrific at chopping and processing food, but it will never be as fine a puree as you'll get in a blender. The blender has that narrow jar, so all the food gets down to the blades. That will make a smoother smoothie than you could ever make in a food processor. This has a liquid maximum right about here. The central stem is open, but you can do a certain amount of liquid in here without it spilling out. And there are food processors where you can do a little more liquid, but it will never be a really smooth liquid as you will get in a blender. Okay, so those are all the most important factors to consider when you're buying one of these. Now Hannah's going to show you how to get the most out of your food processor.
Like we said earlier, food processors can make a ton of kitchen tasks easier. It's like having your own personal little sous chef. You can shred or slice cheese, potatoes, and tomatoes. You can make all different kinds of doughs. You can ground meat, make breadcrumbs, all kinds of things. Here are some of our favorite food processor tips. First, you want to cut things down to size. You want to make sure they can fit in the tube and engage the blade. If you cut them, say in half or a quarter to smaller even chunks, the blade can do their specific work even better, chopping things nice and fine and even. These are also great for chopping herbs. You don't really have to pre-chop those. You can put them in, buzz, buzz, buzz. They should be nice and fluffy and not wet and bruised. Next, go slow with the pulse button. You cannot unpuree food, which I've learned the hard way several times. A great example of this is Christy Morrison's shrimp burgers, which is a favorite recipe of ours. Shout out to Christy, we love her. Christy literally dictates 4 pulses for this, 8 pulses for this, 12 pulses for this, and that's because she wants to make sure you are not going to over-process it. A couple pulses too far and you're getting gluey, homogeneous, bouncy burgers versus what Christy intended, which are tender, juicy, and rich. This recipe really is awesome. We'll link it down below in the description. The pulse button is right here. You want to hold it down and then release. You have enough for the blade to get to its top speed and then stop. The food processor is a dough's best friend. We do pizza dough, we do pie dough, all different kinds of dough. The blade can chop fat evenly and incorporate it nicely into pie dough without a ton of work. And it also really mixes everything efficiently. This will knead for you. Our thin crust pizza dough recipe, one of my all-time favorite recipes, it is made in a food processor. It is so easy and so good. For extra flaky pie dough, freeze your butter and then use a food processor to cut it into the flour. It's easier, you make the machine do the work, and then you get those delicious, nice, flaky pie dough layers. Make use of that freezer. If you want to make ground burgers, for example, we put the meat in the freezer first, which firms up the surface and helps it grind up nice and evenly. When it comes to cheese, same thing. You want to put it in the freezer to firm up for about 15 minutes. Next up, do not forget the blades. A good food processor, like Lisa said, comes with 3 blades, a slicer, a chopper, and a shredder. The shredding blade alone earns my food processor spot in my kitchen. Next, use the adjustable feed tube for even cutting. Make sure things are standing up nice and straight, and the different sized feed tubes can help you with that. It's tailored to different sizes. All right, now I shouldn't have to say this, but never put your fingers or any of your utensils down the feed tube. ATK test cooks, I see the chopped up silicone spatulas in the dish room. No putting them down there. We also get a ton of questions on how to best clean food processors. So you don't want to put the jar and the lid in the dishwasher. Obviously, you don't want to put the base in the dishwasher, but you know that. The jar and the lid, it will get foggy in the dishwasher. You really want to be able to see through so you can see what you're doing. It'll also dull the blade. So dishwasher, no. You want to wash this with hot soapy water. That's fine. A little hack we like to do is to get the blade clean, like if you've done something really sticky or gluey, you can actually put a little bit of soap and hot water in here. Buzz, buzz, buzz. It'll help clean the blade up and it'll start cleaning the interior. It's too wide to really fully clean it. You still want to do that by hand And when it comes to the base, wipe it down, or you can spot clean with like a little dish rag and hot soapy water. I like to use all-purpose spray. You know, I just spray mine down, wipe it down. You don't want to risk anything, so best to have it unplugged when you're cleaning it. If you're in the market for a food processor, we hope our buying guide helped you out. We love these things, as you can probably tell. They make your life easier in the kitchen, and they can actually make you produce more beautiful food.
For more information on food processors and other kitchen gear, check out the links below or go to americastestkitchen.com.
What do you use your food processor for? Any tips for us? Let us know in the comments. Make sure to like this video and hit subscribe. We'll see you next time.